give before you receive as our next and fifth principle here to never be broke again. So this is key of giving back to others and actually helping others. Because what are we really doing if you're trying to create an income, trying to collect assets? Or trying to collect money, which is a store of value used to exchange for goods and services. So we do have to have some form of this exchange, right? And how we make sure this isn't like just completely transactional is by giving before we actually receive, right? Just giving from a place where we want to offer value without necessarily needing anything in return. This does four things actually. This cultivates abundance. It gives you that abundance mindset that you have more to offer than just trying to extract other people's resources. You're actually giving to whether it's giving them products, giving them services, just giving them your time, giving them your energy, let's say, or even giving them access to your passion. Right. I meet a lot of young people and they say, like, why would someone want to work with me? Like, I'm not skilled yet. And I tell them, like, hey, if you're young and don't have the necessary skills just yet, your passion goes very far, especially if you want to work with people that are ahead, people a little bit older, let's say. They will see your passion as revitalizing. So it's totally a hack in that even if you have quote unquote nothing to value just yet, because you're still starting your career, still super young, if you give other people access to your passion, to your energy, they will love that, right? We got Christian Josh in the chat. Welcome. Morning, morning. Next thing, if you give before you receive, it feels good to help, right? You'll actually get a little bit of a dopamine hit. You'll start to feel good and you'll attach these good feelings and emotions to helping others. And that's going to make your income, going to make your net worth way easier to increase because now it feels good to genuinely help someone else. Third aspect is you want to learn new skills by giving before you receive. Right? You can learn these new skills, you can meet new people, you can develop yourself. Right. Well, we got Christian requesting. I'm going to let you in there. Let's see if this works. And of course, there are tax benefits to giving before you receive. This is the example of just charity. If you give to charity, there are tax benefits to that. A big one. Hey, morning, boys. You guys are in the warehouse there?
Yes, sir. I just have a quick question. We'll keep it quick for that because we can go on.
It's nice.
Just think
Mhm.
how you use time to coach or just providing a course.
That is a good question. If you have the track record, it's something you can do right away, right? Now, the key here is that you don't necessarily need to position yourself as like, oh, like I'm this guru, I know everything. You just need to be slightly ahead, right?
Right.
And if it becomes a question like, oh, are we skilled enough? Do we have a track record? Hey, Josh, morning. What you could do is you do it for free, and then you build what's called testimonials, right? You give the value first, then you get the testimonials. It shows you what to improve, and then maybe increase price, and you just keep doing this. Like one of the courses I teach, I did it for free, and then it became a $20 course for 6 weeks. Like realistically, that makes like no sense. Like it's an offer that someone would have a hard time refusing. It's like, hey, I'll coach you for 6 weeks for $20. But
Right.
eventually you get all the testimonials and then you start seeing how to get better. And you're essentially iterating your product or your service by doing that.
Right. Okay. No, I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, boys. Have a good one. I'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.
Peace. Cool. So example there, just quick little value exchange. And even them asking a question is valuable, right? Like you have these young guys wanting to learn, wanting to improve their skills, meet new people, develop themselves. Just asking a question and being like, hey, thanks for reaching out. That does offer value to even me, right? Cool. So, mission five, we always give missions during these little classes just to make sure it's actionable for you. This mission is going to be start asking yourself, like, what charities do you want to work with and begin donating to? And if you don't have too much money, that's okay. Pick a local charity, see if you can start volunteering and give time to them, right? Or give time to someone that you want to offer value to. Next principle, your sixth principle here. It's good water. You want to know your tax law. Okay? We won't dive too deep into this because you could literally like one, I'm not a tax attorney. Should always seek counsel from an accountant or a tax attorney. That being said, there's a couple concepts we want to introduce here that will at least make your life just that much easier, right? In understanding your tax laws. You want to know your tax law. First one is RRSP rules. Okay, RRSP stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Something specific here in Canada, similar to 401k, I believe. Yes. And then there are TFSA rules, like tax-free savings account rules. In the States, I believe the equivalent is a Roth IRA. But these two accounts is something I highly suggest anyone once you turn 18, you should open these accounts up. You should learn to do what's called a self-directed, meaning you have control of what you put into that account, whether it's stocks, mutual funds, GICs, whatever it is, but a self-directed RRSP and a self-directed TFSA. And the more you educate yourself on RSPs and TFSAs, the more you'll start to see how to use these as vehicles to build wealth, right? Like I use an RSP in the beginning to put money towards my first house. These are my first time home buyers, right? It's not necessarily financial advice for you, but it's something that you could do or you start researching. We wanted to use this for educational purposes, right? When learning your tax laws, it's also going to be key to learn the difference and the benefits of, being self-employed and having these business write-offs, right? If I ever go to dinner and I meet with a client or meet with a potential partner, or I do have a partner I'm meeting with in a business that we run together, well, that's a business write-off. Why? Because we're having a meeting there and we're most likely going through certain tasks or certain topics on our agenda that we need to handle for the business, right? There are a ton of write-offs, and this actually allows you to reduce your net income while also growing the business, right? A lot of these write-offs, essentially what they do is help you grow the business. Maybe you're paying for marketing, maybe you're paying for a consultant or a coach, maybe you're paying for an accountant, a lawyer, whatever it is, these write-offs actually help you keep more money while also reinvesting back into your business. Just like the previous principle, we have charity tax rules. There are different charities that you can use to reduce your taxable income, right? In Manitoba only, there are author tax rules, right? This is why I always publish my books in Manitoba, not necessarily in different provinces, because you do get a small little tax credit for being a published author in Manitoba. There's also tax deductible interest. This is for real estate investors there. If we use interest to run our business, get into real estate, start another business or hustle, the interest incurred while we were growing this business or when we use this for our business is a tax write-off. Right? You also want to learn a little bit more about tax brackets, right? Like what does having a tax bracket mean here in Canada? What does it mean that, there's levels to how you're taxed? Just because you hit a certain income level doesn't mean all that income is taxed at that tax bracket. We have like a tiered system in Canada. It's actually pretty interesting. I find anyway, I'm kind of a tax nerd like that. But it is something that you do want to learn so that you can kind of plan ahead of like, okay, how much money will you be paying in taxes? And then, of course, my favorite part, when you own real estate, there's a ton of tax benefits that you get access to. Okay, so you do want to use that to your advantage. And the big key here is that as a aspiring investor, as someone who is wanting to get to financial abundance, like as boring as it is, but the Canadian Revenue Agency, the CRA, is a great resource to learn about like your tax laws, right? Just being able to understand what can you write off, what can you not write off, how can you make sure that you're abiding by the tax laws. If you get real estate, how do you effectively and efficiently use those tax write-offs to pay less tax legally? So tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is not legal. Don't do that, right? Play by the rules. The rules are set up to essentially help you win if you know what those rules are. So that's why it's key to understand and know like your tax law, right? So there's a couple interesting things that you can even cover. Is like as you go deeper into these tax laws, there's a lot of interesting things you could do. So if you're married, have common law, the higher income earner can actually give or contribute, let's say, to what's called a spousal RSP, where you can actually put your earned income. Usually, it's the person who makes higher income. Excuse me, a little tired this morning. It is a person with a higher income that will contribute to the lower income earners RSP, and then therefore they get different tax benefits for doing that. Okay, so there's a ton of strategies you can use. My favorite one with RSPs is just using it for your first time home buyer. Personally, this is just my opinion. If my if someone's goal is to become financially abundant, you don't necessarily need an RSP for the purpose of retirement because you're going to create your own retirement there. You're going to take it into your own hands. That being said, you can still use the RSP for potentially getting onto your first home, being able to. I know there's you do have to pay it back after like 15 years. But it's money that are you actually paying it back or just putting it back into that account is kind of how I look at it. So homework piece here, little mission for the ones that want to know their tax law, become financially literate is simple one is meet with a tax professional or a tax person, like a tax attorney, a tax or a specialist accountant, and then just pick their brain on taxes. See, you'll be surprised how much you can learn when you just hang out with these specialists. You can take them out for dinner. You can go to actually their office, take them out for lunch. Whatever way you got to do to meet these people and actually sit down and exchange something for the information, it's gonna change your life, right? Especially if no one's ever taught you these tax laws. And then another one is just go to the Government of Canada website or the CRA official websites, and you can learn a ton on taxes there, right? There's different books there to learn for taxes. There's different tax laws that you can learn direct from the source. I slept a little late last night, so I'm a little tired. Tomorrow, we're going to take a look at knowledge is power and also how to move from an income paradigm to a net worth paradigm. That we'll be covering tomorrow. Okay. So awesome. Well, you guys got value today. I got some time to answer some quick questions. If you guys have any questions, comments, critiques, or concerns, let me know. What do you got on your minds? If ever you guys want specific help in your own situation, something very personalized. Let's say you want to get into real estate or you want to like just learn the financial abundance side and fast track it for you, customize it for you. How do we actually specifically help you so you can get clarity? You can learn how to like leverage. You can learn how to also eliminate different tasks that aren't helping your financial abundance, how we can help you stay accountable, and also how to help you get those results to increase your net worth, increase your income, possibly even get into real estate. Let me know. Just DM me the word blueprint, and I'd love to show you the financial abundance program, see if that would be a good fit for you. Now, if you're more serious about real estate investing and you're like, hey, I just want to get some properties, I want to start building wealth in the background, maybe leverage your job so that you can actually get into real estate, let me know as well. Just DM me the word coach or growth. I'd love to help you out with that. So yeah, any questions, comments, critiques, or concerns? It's awesome for everyone joining me.
The knowledge I had with real estate wasn't that great, and that's when I knew I needed a mentor to guide me through the steps of minimizing my mistakes and obtaining property. It kept me accountable with the limited time I had after the long hours at work. It taught me things I wouldn't have learned without a mentor.
Thank you to Patrick. Big help, helped me with pretty much everything ever since I started. So big shout out to Patrick and Alliance.
Nice. Yeah, Nick's an action taker, so we can help guide you, but you still got to do work, and Nick is a testimonial for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And thank you again, Patrick, for this program. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. That was the best six weeks of my life.
I just want to give a shout out to my man Patrick. Just honestly been one of the best teachers that I've ever had.
It's a very informative course. Patrick works with you one-on-one, so if there's any questions or anything you might be doubting or you're uncertain of, he'll definitely be there to help. Honestly, highly suggest this course. It's taught me a lot through my journey.